If I told you that my husband cannot sleep at night without first giving his mother a full report of what happened in our bedroom, would you believe me? My name is Obinna, and this is not a story I picked from the market. It is my truth. For years, I thought I was married to the perfect man, a responsible husband, a caring father, and a provider that many women prayed for. But behind the closed doors of my marriage, I uncovered a secret so disturbing, it nearly destroyed me completely. I met Chukwudi Namani in Enugu during my NYSC year. He was soft-spoken, intelligent, and carried himself with a calm confidence that drew people to him. We fell in love quickly, and before long, we were married. Life was good. We had 2 children, Chisom and Kamsi, and I felt safe in his arms. But from the very beginning, there was something about Chukwudi that I didn't fully understand. His closeness with his mother, Mama Adaeze. It's common in Nigeria for sons to love and honor their mothers, but this was different. It wasn't just closeness, it was dependence. It was as if his life, his decisions, his every breath had to be tied to her approval. I respected it at first. After all, she raised him as a single mother, and he always said, "Mama is my first love, Uju. Without her, I am nothing." I tried to be understanding. I encouraged him to take care of her, to provide for her, but I never imagined this bond would one day creep into my own marriage in the most painful way possible. It began subtly. After our intimate moments, I noticed Chukwudi would immediately reach for his phone. While I was still lying there expecting him to hold me or whisper something sweet, he would be on his keypad typing furiously. At first, I thought it was work. He was into business contracts and had staff who often needed him. But it happened again and again and again. Each time, immediately after we were together, his attention shifted not to me, but to his phone. I started feeling invisible. One night, I teased him, "Chukwudi, have I turned to ghost in this bed? At least talk to me small before you carry phone." He laughed, pulled me close briefly, and said, "Nah, you know business doesn't wait. Just allow me small." But deep inside, I knew it wasn't business. His smile was different, his tone softer. So I decided to watch more closely. One evening, after we had been together, he slipped out of bed as usual with his phone. But this time, instead of locking himself in the bathroom, he went to the balcony. He thought I was asleep. My heart pounded as I tiptoed quietly and stood behind the curtain. The night breeze carried his voice clearly. "Yes, Mama, we just finished now." My body stiffened. He chuckled softly. Don't worry, she's improving. She did what you suggested. I told her and she tried it. You are right, it was sweeter that way." My hand flew to my mouth. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. He paused, listening to her, then replied, Mama, yes, I made sure she didn't rush. You know me. I listen to you. Nobody knows me like you do." Tears filled my eyes instantly. The man I loved, the man I gave my body and soul to, was reporting every detail of our intimacy to his mother. Not a friend, not a stranger, but his own mother. I staggered back into the room, my heart breaking into pieces. When he returned minutes later, smiling like nothing had happened, I lay still on the bed, pretending to sleep. But inside me, something had died. That night, I realized I wasn't just sharing my husband with his mother emotionally. I was sharing my bedroom, my body, and my dignity. That night, after I overheard Chukwudi speaking with his mother about me, I didn't close my eyes till morning. I just lay there, staring at the ceiling, fighting with my thoughts. At first, I wanted to believe I had misheard. Maybe it was someone else he was talking to. Maybe I was jumping to conclusions. But no, he said it clearly. "Mama, we just finished now." There was no mistaking it. The next morning, as he dressed for work, I found myself watching him differently. His every movement irritated me. The way he hummed while buttoning his shirt, the way he adjusted his tie in the mirror. He looked so normal, so innocent, yet he was carrying a secret that was burning me alive. I tried to speak, but my words choked me. How do you ask your husband why he calls his mother to discuss your bedroom activities? It sounded insane, almost unbelievable. I feared he would laugh at me, deny it, and make me feel like the crazy one. So I kept quiet. Days turned into weeks, but the pattern never changed. changed. Every time after intimacy, he would rush for his phone. Sometimes he went to the balcony. Other times, he would stroll into the sitting room, whispering as if he didn't want to wake the children. And always, I heard it. That one word that pierced me like a knife. Mama. I became restless. At work, my colleagues noticed I was quieter than usual. At home, I snapped easily at the children. I was losing myself. One afternoon, my younger sister, Amarachi, came to visit. She was the outspoken one in the family, never afraid to say things as they were. As we prepared lunch together, she noticed how absent-minded I was. Uju, Kedu, you're just scattering the egusi everywhere. Your mind no dey here. I forced a smile. I'm fine, Amara. Just tired. But she wasn't convinced. She dropped the spoon and looked at me. No, tell me the truth. The chuko they annoy you? Abi something may happen. I wanted to pour it all out, to tell her how betrayed I felt, but shame held me back. I couldn't bring myself to say, my husband tells his mother everything we do in the bedroom. Who would even believe me? So I swallowed the pain again. The human mind is dangerous when fed with doubt. My thoughts began to spiral. What if it wasn't only about our intimacy? What if he was also telling her about my weaknesses, my flaws as a wife? What if she was the one directing him on how to control me? Sometimes, while cooking, I would hear his mother's voice in my head, mocking me. She is not good enough for you, my son. Do this. Don't let her do that. I needed proof. I needed to know the depth of this madness. So, one night, after we were together, I pretended to be deeply asleep. As usual, he tiptoed out with his phone. My heart raced as I followed quietly, hiding by the kitchen door that led to the sitting room. His voice was clear in the silence of the night. Mama, yes. I told her what she said. She's getting better. Mama, you know me now. Without your advice, I've not enjoyed this marriage. My hands trembled. Tears rolled down my cheeks silently. It wasn't my imagination. He was indeed reporting to her, praising her as the architect of our marriage bed. The next morning, I couldn't hold it anymore. While he sipped his tea, scrolling through his phone, I blurted, Chukudi, why do you always call your mother after we've been together? His hand froze mid-scroll. Slowly, he lifted his eyes to me. What did you say? You heard me. My voice shook. Every single time you carry phone and call mama, I've heard you. Don't even deny it. For a moment, he just stared. Then he chuckled. Uju, you are overthinking. I only call mama to check on her. That's all. I slammed my hand on the table, startling even myself. Check on her? At midnight, right after leaving my bed and telling her things about me that even my sisters don't know? His smile faded. He dropped the phone and leaned forward. Uju, don't ever speak about my mother like that again. Do you hear me? Mama is everything to me. If you have a problem with that, then maybe you don't understand me at all. I stared at him in disbelief. Instead of apologizing, instead of reassuring me, he was defending her. My chest tightened as if someone was squeezing my lungs. At that moment, I realized something frightening. I wasn't fighting just for my marriage. I was fighting against a bond that I could never break. From the moment I confronted Chukwudi and he dismissed my pain, something inside our marriage shifted. He became more defensive whenever the subject of his mother came up, and I became more cautious. But Mama Adaize, she was only just beginning to show me the extent of her influence. One Saturday afternoon, Mama Adaize came to visit. She was all smiles, carrying her usual bag of fruits and groundnut oil. The children ran to her shouting, Nene, and hugging her legs. She laughed warmly, her wrapper swaying as she bent to greet them. To the outside world, Mama Adaize was the sweetest, most caring woman. To me, she was slowly becoming the shadow haunting my home. As we all sat in the sitting room, she turned to me with a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. Uju, how are you managing my son? I hope you are treating him well. I forced a smile. Yes, Mama, we're fine. Her eyes scanned me carefully before she chuckled. He told me you are trying, but there are still things you need to learn as a wife. My heart stopped. My hands clenched in my lap. She leaned closer and added, Don't worry, I am guiding him. At least he listens to me. Chukwudi sat there, nodding like a little boy being praised by his teacher. Not once did he defend me. Not once did he tell her to stop. I excused myself and went into the kitchen, but tears burned my eyes as I stirred the the soup on the fire. I wasn't just battling in secret anymore. Mama Adaize was now speaking her mind openly, as though she was the co-wife in my home. After that visit, things escalated quickly. Chukwudi would come to me at night with suggestions, new ways to cook his food, new ways to arrange the bedroom, even new ways to please him. At first I thought maybe he was just experimenting, but his words always betrayed him. Mama said men enjoy it more like this. Mama said your stew would taste better if you use less oil. Mama said I would cut him short, my voice shaking with anger. Chukwudi, am I married to you or to your mother? But instead of reflecting, he would glare at me and storm out of the room. It felt like every single thing I did in that house was being monitored, judged, and corrected by a woman who didn't even live there. And the worst part, my husband was her willing messenger. One evening, after putting the children to bed, I overheard a phone conversation that pushed me to the edge. Chukwudi was in the sitting room, laughing softly as he spoke. Yes, Mama, she tried it like you said. I enjoyed it this time. He paused, listening. Don't worry, I will correct her again. You know you are the only one who understands me. I gasped quietly from the corridor. The shame of it hit me like a blow. My bedroom had become a classroom, my body an experiment, and my mother-in-law the teacher. I didn't realize I had tears streaming down my face until my son, little Kamsi, came out rubbing his eyes. Mommy, why are you crying? I hugged him tightly, unable to answer. What could I possibly tell a child? That his father was loyal to not his wife, but to his mother. The next day I called Amarachi. This time I couldn't keep it in any longer. Amara, I think I'm losing my marriage. Mama Adaize is inside my bedroom, inside my kitchen, inside everything I do. Chukwudi doesn't even see me anymore. He only sees her. Amarachi's voice was sharp. Uju, this is not ordinary. This is not just love for mother. It is obsession. You need to act before you disappear in that house. Her words gave me strength, but also fear. What if I confronted him too strongly and he chose her over me completely? What if I pushed him away and broke my home? That night, I lay awake staring at Chukwudi as he slept peacefully beside me, his chest rising and falling. To him, everything was fine, but to me, it felt like I was living with a stranger, a man who carried my body but gave his soul to his mother. I knew then that something had to change, but I didn't know that in trying to save my marriage, I was about to uncover something far darker than I ever imagined. I knew I couldn't keep living in silence. The shame was eating me alive. But the confusion was worse. Why was my husband so tied to his mother in ways that were unnatural? Why did he need her approval, even in the most private corners of our lives? I decided to dig. One afternoon, while Chukwudi was at work, I was folding clothes in the bedroom when his phone buzzed on the table. Normally, I didn't touch his phone, but something inside me whispered, "This is your chance." My hands trembled as I picked it up. It was a message from Mama Adaize. "My son, did you do what I told you yesterday night? Was it better?" I froze. My mouth went dry. She wasn't just giving casual advice. She was dictating our marital life like a puppeteer pulling strings. Scrolling further, I saw more messages. "Don't let her refuse you. A wife must listen to her husband. Teach her to serve you properly, or she will take you for granted. You know no woman can satisfy you like your mother understands you." I dropped the phone as if it burned me. My stomach churned. The walls of the room closed in on me. This wasn't normal motherly love. This was something darker, something twisted. That evening, I couldn't hold it anymore. I called Amarachi and told her everything I had seen. She gasped. "Ujo, you must confront her directly. This thing has gone beyond ordinary. Mama Adaize is poisoning your marriage. If you don't stop her, you will lose yourself completely." The following weekend, when Chukwudi was out running errands, I made up my mind. I dressed neatly, tied my scarf firmly, and went to visit Mama Adaize. She welcomed me with her usual smile, offering me a seat on kola nut, but I didn't touch it. My heart was pounding so hard, I thought she could hear it. "Mama," I began, my voice low but firm. "Why are you interfering in my marriage? Why are you telling Chukwudi things about me that only a husband and wife should discuss?" Her smile vanished instantly. She leaned back, her eyes narrowing. "So you told her?" My throat went dry. "I saw your messages.
She chuckled coldly. And so what? Uju, you don't understand. Chukwudi is mine. I raised him with my own blood and sweat. You came from nowhere and think you can take him from me? Never. I know him more than you ever will. Her words pierced me like knives. I sat frozen and she continued. If you want to keep your marriage, you better listen to me, because whether you like it or not, my son will always come back to me. I am his beginning and his end. I left her house trembling, my chest heavy. For the first time in my life, I truly felt powerless. That night, I watched Chukwudi sleep peacefully again, his hand draped across my waist, as though everything was normal. But in my heart, I knew my marriage wasn't between two people anymore. It was a triangle: me, my husband, and his mother. I felt trapped in chains I didn't sign up for. I started avoiding intimacy. I found excuses, claiming I was tired or unwell, but Chukwudi noticed. One night, he turned to me angrily. Uju, what is wrong with you? Are you trying to starve me? I swallowed hard, blinking back tears. I just need space, Chukwudi. I can't keep doing this knowing you will go and report me. He sat up sharply. So you've been spying on me? His voice was cold. Uju, you're crossing the line. Mama is my life. If you can't accept that, maybe you don't belong here. The words shattered me. Maybe you don't belong here. After years of giving him my love, my loyalty, my body, and 2 children, I was now being treated as the outsider in my own marriage. The next day, I went to see Amarachi. She looked at me with a mixture of pity and anger. Uju, you can't keep quiet anymore. This is more than unhealthy. It is destroying you. You need to decide. Either fight for your peace or let this marriage consume you alive. I broke down, sobbing in her arms. Amara, I love him. I can't just walk away, but I don't know how to fight a man whose heart belongs to his mother. She held me tight. Then you must prepare yourself, Uju, because Mama Adaize will not stop. And if you are not careful, she will make you disappear in your own home. Her words echoed in my mind long after I left her house. And she was right, because Mama Adaize's grip was about to tighten in ways I never imagined.
After confronting Mama Daisy, I had hoped she would back down, or at least hide her interference. But instead, she became bolder, more confident, as though daring me to challenge her again. And the worst part? Chukwudi encouraged it. It started with little things. Mama Daisy began visiting more often. Sometimes, without notice, she would walk straight into my kitchen, lift pot covers and shake her head. Uju, ha, you are still cooking like this? No wonder Chukwudi complains sometimes. Let me show you how to do it. Before I could say anything, she would push me aside and take over, as though I was a visitor in my own home. Chukwudi would sit in the parlor, smiling proudly. That's my mama. Nobody cooks like her. Each word chipped away at my dignity. But what broke me completely happened one evening. Chukwudi and I had just had an argument about money. I was still upset when he leaned over and tried to be intimate. I pulled back gently, saying, "Not tonight, please. I'm not in the mood." He frowned, stood up, and stormed out. Minutes later, I heard his voice in the sitting room. My blood ran cold when I realized he was on the phone with her. "Mama, she refused me tonight. I don't know what is wrong with her." I held my breath, frozen in the bedroom, tears streaming down my face. He wasn't even ashamed. He wasn't whispering anymore. He wanted me to hear. When he returned, he didn't say a word. He just lay down and slept soundly, leaving me drowning in humiliation. Even the children began sensing the tension. One night, as I tucked them into bed, little Chisom asked innocently, "Mommy, why does Daddy always call Grandma at night? Doesn't he live with you?" I forced a smile, my throat tightening. "Don't worry, my dear. Daddy just loves Grandma very much." But inside, I was breaking. How do you explain to a child that his father has chosen his mother over his wife? Soon, Chukwudi began using Mama Daize's words against me. "Mama said you are not submissive enough. Mama said you are stubborn. That's why you can't keep me happy. Mama said..." One night, I snapped. "Chukwudi, what about what Uju said? Am I not your wife? Does my voice not matter in this house?" He glared at me, his jaw tight. "Don't raise your voice at me. If Mama can respect me, why can't you? Learn from her." My knees almost buckled. He wanted me, his wife, to learn from his mother how to please him? I went to bed that night trembling, wondering how much further this madness could go. I poured my heart out to Amarachi again. She listened quietly, her eyes blazing. "Uju, this is abuse. Emotional abuse. He's breaking you down piece by piece. And Mama Daisy is enjoying it. You need
need to act before you lose your mind. But what action could I take? Divorce? Leave my children behind? Expose my husband's shame? My heart was torn in pieces. All I knew was that I couldn't keep living like a prisoner in my own home. The final straw came on a Sunday evening. We had just returned from church. As I served lunch, Mama Daisy, who had joined us, made a shocking remark in front of everyone. Chukwudi, my son, did Uju try what we discussed last night, or she's still stubborn? The spoon slipped from my hand and clattered on the floor. My children stared at me, confused. Amarachi, who had come to visit, gasped audibly. Chukwudi laughed nervously, trying to change the subject, but the damage was done. The truth was no longer hidden in phone calls or text messages. It was now bold, shameless, and public. I felt my world spinning. I rushed into the bedroom, shut the door, and collapsed on the bed, sobbing uncontrollably. That day, I knew I had reached my breaking point. Something had to give. And what came next would shake not only my marriage, but the very foundation of my life.
I sat on the bed that Sunday afternoon, my body trembling, my heart torn apart. Mama Daise's words still echoed in my ears. Did Uju try what we discussed last night? I had never felt so humiliated, not just as a wife, but as a human being. For hours, I cried, my pillow soaked with tears, my chest heavy with grief. And then, for the first time, anger took over my pain. I told myself no more silence, no more pretending. That night, when Chukwudi returned to the bedroom, I sat up straight and faced him. My voice shook, but my resolute was firm. Chukwudi, I cannot live like this anymore. If you want to be married to your mother, then say it clearly. But if you want me, your wife, then something must change. Tonight. He frowned, clearly caught off guard. What are you talking about? I met his gaze, unflinching. Don't play games with me. I know everything. The midnight calls, the secret discussions, the way you report me like a child. And today, in front of everyone, Mama Daise exposed you. He tried to speak, but I raised my hand. No, Chukwudi, listen to me for once. You are breaking me. You are destroying this marriage with your own hands. My tears flowed freely, but my voice was steady. I am not perfect. I may not cook or act exactly the way Mama does, but I am your wife, the mother of your children. If you cannot respect me, then what are we even doing here? For the first time, Chukwudi did not shout back. He did not insult me. He just stared at me, his eyes softening slowly. And then he whispered, Uju, I didn't know it had gotten this bad. I almost laughed bitterly. You didn't know. You pushed me into this darkness. Every time I begged for your attention, you ran to Mama. Every time I needed you, you abandoned me. You have broken me, Uju. And if you don't change, you will lose me forever. The silence in the room was deafening. For once, he had no defense. The next day, Amarachi stormed into our house unannounced. She had witnessed the public humiliation and refused to stay silent. Chukwudi, she said firmly, standing before him, I am your friend's husband and I respect you. But what you are doing is wickedness. A man leaves his father and mother to cling to his wife, not the other way around. Do you want to destroy this woman's soul? Do you want to raise your children in a broken home? Chukwudi lowered his head like a scolded child. Amarachi turned to me and hugged me tightly. Uju, you are stronger than you think. But remember, silence kills faster than pain. Speak your truth. Her words gave me the courage I needed. 2 days later, Mama Adaeze visited again. This time, I was ready. As soon as she entered the kitchen to check my food, I followed her. Mama, I said softly but firmly, with all due respect, I will not allow this anymore. You cannot keep controlling my marriage. You cannot keep using my husband against me. I am his wife. You are his mother. Both roles are important, but they are not the same. She looked at me sharply. So you now have the guts to talk back to me? Yes, Mama, I replied. My voice shook, but I held my ground because my silence has almost destroyed me. And if this continues, it will destroy your son too. Chukwudi walked in just then. He froze, listening. For a moment, I thought he would defend her again, but instead, he took a deep breath. Mama, Uju is right. She widened her eyes. Chukwudi, you dare talk to me like this? He stepped closer, his voice trembling but firm. Mama, I love you. I will always respect you, but Uju is my wife. wife. She is my partner. I cannot keep hurting her to please you. It ends today. Tears welled up in my eyes. For the first time in years, he chose me. That night, after Mama Adaize left angrily, Chukwudi came to me. His voice was low, almost broken. Uju, I am sorry. I thought I was being a good son. I didn't realize I was being a terrible husband. I let Mama's shadow cover our marriage. I neglected you, mocked you, humiliated you. I don't deserve your forgiveness. I held his hand, tears streaming down my face. Chukwudi, all I ever wanted was you. Not perfection, not riches, just you. Don't let anyone else sit in my place again. He nodded, his eyes glistening. I promise, Uju, from today, you are my priority, my wife, my partner, my love. We embraced, both sobbing quietly. For the first time in a long time, I felt safe in his arms. Weeks passed, and slowly, things began to change. The midnight calls stopped. Mama Adaize still visited, but Chukwudi no longer allowed her to interfere. He started spending more time with me and the children. He laughed with us, prayed with us, even helped in small ways he had never done before. One evening, little Chisom ran into my arms smiling. Mommy, Daddy plays with us now. Did you talk to him? I smiled, hugging my son tightly. Yes, my dear. Daddy has finally come home. Marriage is never easy. It is not just about love. It is about loyalty, respect, and boundaries. A man must honor his mother, yes, but he must cleave to his wife, for she is his home. I almost lost my marriage to silence and fear, but by speaking my truth, I found my voice again. And in the end, my husband found his way back to me, because love is not just about how we begin. It is about how we fight and win together.